Today I would like to discuss this ominous thing that I feel like is happening with the mainstream media, with other oligarchs in the country. And it started with Joe and Mika of Morning Joe going to Mar-a-Lago without their cameras to kiss the ring after years of sounding the alarm bells about fascism, Nazism, dictators, etc. The minute the election results came in, they hightailed it down to Mar-a-Lago, no cameras, and then showed back up at the MSNBC studios like they had credibility. This week, they had on David Frum, and they are discussing Pete Hegseth's alcoholism, sexual assault allegations, and just all around disqualifications for him to be the Secretary of Defense. They're specifically discussing that a lot of people that work at Fox News always smelled alcohol on his breath while he was at work. And let's play the clip of David Frum discussing this.
Well, just given what one sees on camera, if you're too drunk for Fox News, you're very, very drunk indeed. So that's alarming. In 1989, President George H.W. Bush nominated John Tower, senator from Texas, for Secretary of Defense. Now, Tower was a very considerable person, a real defense intellectual, someone who deeply understood defense, unlike the current nominee. And it emerged that Tower had a drinking problem. And when he was drinking too much, he would make himself a nuisance or worse to the women around him. And for that reason, his nomination collapsed in 1989. You don't want to think that our moral standards have declined so much that you could say, let's take all the drinking, all the sex pesting, subtract any knowledge of defense, subtract any leadership, and there's your next Secretary of Defense for the 21st century.
So after he said this, then I guess a producer at MSNBC kind of starts freaking out because of what he said about Fox News, which anybody who has ever listened to Fox News and the disparaging, horrible things they say about other media news outlets, not to mention the whole Roger Ailes era with all of the depravity that went on that at that organization, the $1 billion settlement with the voting machines, the cancer that it has been on this country. Here is what Mika says after.
Before we go to break, a little bit earlier in this block, there was a comment made about Fox News in our coverage about Pete Hegseth and the growing number of allegations about his behavior over the years and possible addiction to alcohol or issues with alcohol. The comment was a little too flippant for this moment that we're in. We just want to make that comment as well. We want to make that clear. We have differences in coverage with Fox News, and that's a good debate that we should have often. But right now, I just want to say there's a lot of good people that work at Fox News who care about Pete Hegseth, and we'll want to leave it at that.
Here's my thought on that. The comment was flippant. I think we can all agree. But was it worthy of Mika going on and saying there are good people at Fox? I think there are good people at Fox. There are good people everywhere. Here's my fundamental problem with Mika. I have a lot of respect for Mika. She has done a lot for women, for women's health care. For her to go down to Mar-a-Lago without cameras and then to come on and act like it was no big deal, it took her down in my book. And I was hoping that it was more of an MSNBC Joe Scarborough thing, and she just went along with it. But this kind of thing makes me think that she does not understand how serious the comments she made before were, how serious the blunder of Mar-a-Lago was. And then you could say that she was just keeping them from a defamation suit. But I'm so tired of the right getting all of the corrections, redactions, because all they do all day long is lie, talk shit. I don't know. I really liked Mika before all this, and it just kind of makes me just like, damn.
Okay. Number one, I don't think it was flippant at all. I disagree respectfully with that because the history of Fox News and the stuff that they say, this is an appropriate response to that. They don't care that people have sexual assault allegations, that people have alcohol problems, drug problems. Look at the misinformation that they pumped out that delivered this horribly disqualifying behavior. They normalized it. I don't think David Frum went far enough. And that's where we respectfully, completely disagree. As far as Mika goes, I push back personally a little bit from what you're saying. I think they play a lot of the corporate stuff. Initially, when Trump came out in 2016, he was on Morning Joe all the time. They were Trump apologists originally. They were part of the normalization of Trump originally. And then they saw how horrific it was. And then they changed their tune. And now Trump is back in power, and then all of a sudden they're playing patty cake with him again. So I think Mika has moral clarity when the opportunity suits her. And if you look at historically, the original support for Trump, the patty cake with him then all of a sudden moral clarity, and now back at Mar-a-Lago, and then that crazy ass apology. That's the way I see it. And I respectfully disagree, because I think this is why the Democrats lose. I think you have a news echo chamber on the right that unapologetically lies, misinforms, disinforms all of the time. They went bananas over Hunter Biden's addiction. And here we have Hegseth and people at Fox News. And I'm sorry, there are fine people at Fox News. I can't go there. I just can't. I just can't go there. So I respectfully disagree with your take. Next up, we have Joe Scarborough, who's spiraling over the blowback from Mar-a-Lago. Let's listen to him.
You can do two things at the same time. You can say he had fascist rhetoric and still go in and talk to him.
Yeah.
You know why I do that? To get the read of the man. You know why I went in and talked to Macron? To get the read of the man at a crucial time in EU funding and NATO funding. You know why I went to leaders in the Middle East who were angry at the United States, and I sat there and I listened to them attacking me personally for 45 minutes because of U.S. policy? You know why I do that? To get the read of the leader, to get the read of where the country's going. So I can come back here and talk to you and let you know what the hell is going on.
With context and
give you context, insight, and background. You know everybody we have on the show that's a reporter? It's what they do every day. They speak on background.
Pumps, I have discovered the very best holiday gift that you can give to family, friends, etc. It's called the Aura Frame. You can download all sorts of photographs to it. And then, a normal frame, it's just the same photo all the time. This actually flashes different photos, so you can change it every single year.
I told my kids this is what I wanted for Christmas. It's the perfect gift. And what's so great about it is they can load the picture straight from their phone.
Aura is named the #1 digital photo frame by Wirecutter. Aura frames are incredibly smart and easy to use, allowing you to upload unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone to the frame. Plus, you can order the frame online and preload it with photos and videos using the Aura app, so it's ready to go right out of the box. Save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames by using promo code IHIP at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code IHIP. This deal is exclusive to our listeners, so get yours now in time for the holidays. Terms and conditions apply. So here he is, just incredibly defensive, screaming at the top of his lungs because he's getting called out.
Right.
And the hypocrisy with Joe and Mika and Trump has now come full circle. It started with them normalizing. Trump was a frequent guest on Morning Joe first election run. And then they saw how terrible it was. And it's like, oh, okay. And now they've done what Ted Cruz and Mitch McConnell and Marco Rubio, the current vice president-elect, now they've come full circle on all of this. So they are just every bit as bad as all of the people they criticized when they had that momentary moral clarity. And now that he's back in power again, it looks like to me that Joe and Mika have been exposed for being opportunists. There are real journalists out there who, the minute Trump was announced that he won this election, you had Vanity Fair, you had Rolling Stone and others that came out vociferously in very clear moral terms. We will not succumb. We will not capitulate. We will cover this. We will call out every single thing that we can. We believe in the free press and we intend to exercise it. And then you have this, like he's going to get background. Give me a break. You went to CYA. Cover your ass because you're scared, justifiably, because Trump and everybody that he's appointed has said they want to go after journalists. And you were scared about yourself. Just say it. Just say that. Everybody would respect the truth a lot more. It's all of this bullshit, providing cover for Fox News. It's just not letting David Frum have free speech. Give me a break. I'm so sick of this shit, and I think it's what everybody is so sick of.
I thought his little talk, I like you, I thought it was completely defensive. And here's the thing. You didn't give us context when you came back from Mar-a-Lago because you didn't take cameras. Yes, reporters go report on both sides, but they report. You just came back and said you had a kumbaya. Like, I have zero sympathy for this. And after his little tirade, it makes me want to double down on my feelings about it. I just feel like that was bad form, and they knew it, and he definitely knows it now, if he didn't before.
He definitely knows it, and he wants to have it both ways.
Right.
All of this is all both sidesing. There's good people at Fox News, yet everybody knows what a corrupt cancer that entire news organization has been on this country. You have millions of Americans that should be enjoying their retirement, and they are wound up like cheap clocks, thinking that kids are going to school, getting their wieners whacked off, and babies are getting executed, and migrant caravans are about to come to their gated retirement communities and kill them. And Fox News created all of this. And I'm sorry, when you create that and you lie to the American public and actively take part in destroying the good things about this country so that the oligarchs can have more power and you're a part of that organization, I can't say there are good people there. I saw the way the journalism wing of Fox News treated Kamala Harris, Britt Baer, whatever his name is, and how just condescending and the interrupting and the sexism. And then you have just bend over, French braiding, combing Donald Trump's hair when you see him on there with the Morning Five and Sean Hannity. I think that Mika and Joe have been exposed for the opportunists that they are. They are not serious people. They don't have a moral backbone. You know why people like Trump? Because he says, I'm fucked up and I'm going to quadruple down on every single thing. And he does.
Right.
This is what people don't like. This is what created the opportunity to give Trumpism oxygen. He says, we're going to go after this. We're going to go. And he just continues with it over and over and over again. It's why people respect Bernie Sanders. He has a moral backbone. He says what he's going to say. He believes what he says, and he does it over and over and over again. This stuff right here, to me, is curtains for Morning Joe and Mika, and they deserve it. They absolutely deserve it.
Yeah, I used to be a pretty faithful watcher of Morning Joe, and I will never watch it again, full stop. I just won't, because the hypocrisy, the duplicity, the blatant opportunism. And didn't you tell me, because I didn't remember this, that Trump accused Joe of being involved in a death?
Yes. So Joe Scarborough had an aide that worked for him when he was a congressman, and she had some sort of heart condition, and she fell down had some sort of arrest that caused her to lose consciousness and hit her head on a desk. And Matt Gaetz told Trump on Air Force One at some point, oh, we really think Joe Scarborough was having an affair with this woman and killed her. And people around Trump said, don't tweet it, don't tweet it, don't do it, don't do it. Of course, within hours, Trump is tweeting these conspiracy theories that Joe Scarborough killed this aide that died tragically and accidentally. And Joe, after all of this, you see this capitulation to Fox News by Mika and whoever this producer is. And then he goes down to Mar-a-Lago after he justifiably browbeat Ted Cruz when Donald Trump called Ted Cruz's wife ugly. And then Ted Cruz is like, God bless Donald Trump. It's gross. It's disgusting. And Joe did the same thing. And that's why you have the stage 5 meltdown. But what's more ominous for me is why is MSNBC capitulating to Fox News? What David Frum says is it's such small potatoes compared to all. It's an opinion show. It's an opinion show. That's his opinion. So I'm just disgusted at the lack of backbone that people have, the allowances that people make for Fox News, for Joe and Mika. They are exposed for the hypocrites that they've always been and the opportunists that they've always been. If somebody accuses me of murder, I'm never speaking to them again. That's just the way it would go.
Right. Completely agree. You know, when they ran down to Mar-a-Lago, you know exactly what it reminded me of? Kevin McCarthy. Trump is completely responsible for the insurrection, all the stuff he said on tape, and then he goes down within days and he's kissing the ring. That's exactly what I thought of. It's the exact same thing.
It's really ominous. It's ominous that Jeff Bezos met with Trump and, and he's starting to defend him. And there's just really ominous thing where all of these people are such opportunists and don't have a backbone to stand up to this because the people he's appointing, it's horrible. I mean, it's like, are you kidding me? This is your best foot forward to run the United States of America? Kash Patel? I mean, are we serious here? Kristi Noem? I mean, there are actually really smart people in this country. Conservatives. You won. We know what you're going to do. We know that, the rich aren't hardly going to pay any in taxes. Those are consequences of elections. We know you're going to deregulate and all that stuff. We know that. Those are the consequences of Republicans winning. So put those people in office, but he puts the craziest MFers ever. I mean, complete, unhinged conspiracy theorists. And, his base, when they see all of these appointments, it's like watching porn for them. They love it.
They love it. And they're saying the deep state is making up all these allegations about Hegseth and Tulsi Gabbard and Kash Patel. And I'm just like, are you kidding me?
And you know why that works? Because Fox News presents it as facts. And that's why everything I presented is total bullshit. Any defense of Fox News is total bullshit on their part. It really makes me sick. All right, we'll see you guys later. It's so